It's time for Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. Holla Chi Town, Scream ATL, Shout Carolinas. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We are in the building.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I am Laura Simmons.
And I am Meredith Denier.
Today, guys, we have a guest in the building. And this guest, oh my goodness, she has a story to tell. And as you guys know, this month is Domestic Violence Month, and it's also Breast Cancer Month. It's so many things in this month, but those two things stick out to me, breast cancer and domestic violence, because we see a lot of it going on in the world today. A lot of people losing their life to both, not just one of them, to both of them. And the young lady that we have today, um, her name is Sheena, and her story is amazing on so many levels. And so when we get to our guest, we will bring her out in a few minutes. But I'm gonna bring in Meredith to find out how her day has been so far.
Yes.
So how are you doing today, Meredith?
You know what? I am pretty good. I am pretty good. I guess I could say it was a productive day. I can say it was a productive day. Just had some personal things to take care of that I've been dreading, but I got it taken care of. Thank God. And I met a new friend today in the notary world. So we met up and, shared
That's
some information. So that's always good when I meet people in the same field and, we can network and share information. And, it's okay to be friends with people, because this is room for everybody. So
yeah.
yeah, I had a pretty good day. I had a pretty good day. So yeah.
That's awesome.
What
That's
about
what's up.
you?
Girl, whew, I am tired, tired, tired. I had a day, boy. I've been ripping and running and ripping and running, and oh my goodness.
Okay, now
Mm-mm.
don't be like me.
Yeah,
Shut down, please don't, because it's no fun, and it takes a while to kind of get yourself back on track. It. I promise you. I
yeah,
I promise you. So yeah, don't be me.
yeah. I won't. I'm gonna make sure that I take care of myself. It's just, woof, girl. Like I said, it's been one of those days. I've been like ripping and running. I haven't even. Only thing I ate today was my half a banana and my chocolate milk, and that's it. I ain't had nothing else.
So you fasted today,
Yeah, basically, not on, not
not on
intentionally.
purpose.
No, yeah, no, not at all.
But
I
ain't nothing
just,
wrong with it. It's okay to fast every now and then. It's okay.
yeah,
So when you get off the here, so what you gonna do afterwards? You
girl, I
got
fix, I fixed some dinner today.
okay. All right. All
Hmm.
right.
I fixed some. Woo, girl, I fixed some of everything. This when you know you hungry. I'm gonna tell you
Right.
this how you know when you hungry. I cooked um air fried chicken wings, some fried shrimp,
Oh my
some
God.
broccoli, some black beans and rice, some mac and cheese, some corn on the cob,
Oh yeah, you was
some
starving.
cornbread.
You was
Yes.
starving.
So you know all I'm seeing is food, right? You know.
But the funny part is you gonna get ready to eat, and when you start eating, you're gonna be like, I'm full. I can't even
Yeah,
eat none. You
exactly.
don't even
You're
have no
exactly
appetite.
right.
Yep.
Yep. I was like, girl,
I
that is
do
so
that.
funny. I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to cook today. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna cook that. I'm gonna cook this too. And I'm gonna cook that too. And before I knew
Oh,
it, so my husband eating everything because he look, he like he like, oh yeah. He said he always tell me this is the first thing he said. He said, I eat all my food, so you ain't got nothing to worry.
right, right. Well,
So
that's
yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, you ain't got to worry about cooking for tomorrow then. How
Mm,
about that?
I don't know
I
about
know he ain't
that.
gonna eat all that.
No, he got he take lunch. He take lunch, take food for lunch and
Oh
stuff.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, you Martha Stewart. Go on, girl.
Yeah. I said, you know what? I said I was gonna do a live one day with cooking everything. I got that cookbook out too. I got a cookbook out.
You,
So
yeah. You know I
yeah.
know.
Uh-huh.
I was there,
Mhm.
with stiff photos.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah. So how are you? How's everything with with the notary stuff, and how's that coming along?
You know what? Like I said, today was actually an awesome day, a productive day because I got a chance to meet someone for the first time. Another young lady that reached out to me, online, and we just like been talking over the phone and texting. So today, I was in her area, and I was like, "Hey, I probably got like an hour and a half. I'm gonna be in your area. You want to meet up and meet face to face?" And it was a great meetup, and like I said, we shared information, and we're gonna go to the same conference. We'll be in a conference in Arizona in June,
Oh,
notary conference. So excited about that. And so we are going to connect again, and we got some things that we're going to try to put together and work on, in the notary world. So yeah, so as far as that is concerned, that's going well. I did some new things I hadn't done before, which was exciting, and it's always exciting meeting new people. Always
okay.
exciting meeting new people. I'm telling you, it's something to learn in everything that we do, but it's something to learn in the notary world every day, and
Yeah.
it's not repetition.
Hmm.
It's definitely not repetition because you run into different clients needing different things. So yeah, so everything is going pretty well. I have no
Okay.
complaints.
So you ready to give your spiel about each of the cast members before we get to our guests?
Sure, bring it
Okay.
on.
All right, let's get it going.
Let's get it.
Um, let's see. Okay, we'll start with Miss Ursula.
All right, yes. So this is our lovely, lovely Ursula, and this is her second book, guys. Let me tell you all about this poetry, Words from the Soul by Blue Lewis. That is her handle name, Blue Lewis. But this is our very own Ursula. So go out, support her. She is on Amazon. You can look this title up on Amazon. Go out, represent our very own Blue Lewis, aka Ursula. And then we do have our Margaret Green, who is our real estate guru. You can reach her at 843-469-8772 for all things real estate, investment properties, any questions that you may have, if you want to refinance, HELOCs, whatever. This is who you would need to contact. She is in the South Carolina area, so please give Margaret Green a call. Her number is 843-469-8772. And then, of course, there's me. This Opal and Olive Notary Specialist. That's what I do. I am also a loan signing agent. So, all things notary, please call me at 708-855-1909. You can also reach me via web, www.opalolivenotary.com. And then, of course, our lovely Laura Simmons, Laura the author. She has 10 books on Amazon. You can reach her at www.motheranddaughterteenbooks.com. You can also reach her on Amazon. She is a motivational speaker. She is also the host of this podcast, I'm sorry, Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends.
All right. All right then. There we go. Let's bring our guest out. We don't want to keep her waiting too long. She has a lot to tell us. Um, we're gonna bring our guest out.
All
We
right.
mhm. Miss Sheena. She is in the building.
Woo woo.
Hello,
How
everybody.
Hey, how are
how are
you?
you?
I am very well. How are y'all doing today?
Well, good, good, good. Tired, but good.
Good, I'm good.
Mhm. So, how are you
I know
today?
all of that feeling.
You say you know all of that feeling, huh?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I'm here.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. You're absolutely right.
That's it.
Um, so tell the people who you are. Just give them like a little
I
summary of
am
who you
Sheena
are.
Gourdine. I am Sheena Gourdine. I am an author, a motivational speaker, an elevation self-care life coach. I'm an advocate for domestic violence. I am the CEO of Sheena Master Motivation, and I am also a podcast host. Well, actually about to be executive producer of my TV show that's about to come out on BHC Media Network.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
She
you.
moving on up to the sky. Jeffersons. Every time when I think about somebody
Right.
when a career is going up, that's the first person I think about is that show, The Jeffersons. It's just
Hmm.
it's a good feeling though. It's a very good feeling.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So with this being October is one of what is it? It is Domestic Violence Month. Um, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Absolutely. Back in about 2000 and I think it was 11. Yeah, I think about the date. It was 2011 when my first incident encounter of it was I was actually pregnant with my 7-month-old daughter, and I was threw against the cabinet and I was strangled and choked. And then, during this process, I was more concerned about my child than my own life. So, of course, I fought to get the hands from around my neck. In this proceeding, I actually left the relationship, but I end up getting back with them because, the I'm sorry's, I'm not gonna do it again, blinded by love type situation. And Lord and behold, back again by May, after having my daughter, I was holding her in my arms and I got strangled in my living room holding her while I had her in my arm and she was only about 4 months. So I ended up leaving that relationship, but I didn't press charges or did I either go to do anything about the situation or even go to therapy. I thought maybe I could handle it myself. Lord and behold, about 3 years later, I decided, okay, I'm gonna try doing a different relationship. Lord and behold, in this relationship, I got back into another domestic violence that was a lot worse than the first one. And I actually was choked in my sleep, dragged upstairs, locked in the bathroom, got my you name it, it was just crazy. To whereas I tried to leave and I got stalked for like almost 6 months. To whereas I had to remove my kids and end up going to a safe space, to a safe haven to make sure they was okay. I did press charges. I did end up getting a restraining order, but the person still was stalking me. Eventually, they got arrested. So 2017, I decided to do better for myself. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I decided to do better for myself and I decided to go through therapy, go through the program and use art therapy, walking and counseling to heal me to my next level of elevation of where I am now.
Okay. Is your screen freezing up?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So my question to you is so what made you did you not think about did you not pay attention to the next person that you end up dating? Did you not
What was
uh
crazy is the person that I was dating, the signs didn't show up till 3, 4 years later. It wasn't no signs of anger, no, it was normal relationship, normal arguing. It escalated later.
wow.
Maybe it was signs in between, but as of anything major, them hitting and choking and uh-uh. But come to find out, this person was dealing with their own mental issues as well. So I became the target.
Oh wow. So how did you discover that? Did you ask questions
No,
later?
I seen a change. I seen a change, and I took them to the therapist.
Oh, and that's how you discovered that it was something wrong with them too.
Hmm.
Wow. That is something. Meredith, did you have a question?
Yeah, that's surprising. So how did the conversation go when you said you took them to a therapist? How did that conversation go? Because most men, and I'm just speaking from the ones that I know, are not
Hmm.
usually keen on going to see a therapist and talking to someone. So how did that conversation go, and how did that whole process go?
Because it was just signs and stuff that I was seeing, and I was already going to a therapist. So I asked him, "You want to come to therapy with me?"
And it was no problem. He went willingly.
Right.
Wow. But now that's amazing, because you don't find, usually people are kicking and screaming and like, no, I don't want to go. What we gonna talk about it? What how they gonna
Right.
help me?
But
So
what's crazy is after they found out, because they was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia. After they found out, they blamed me and they didn't want to take the pills. I was like, I'm not about to be the reason why you. Mm-mm. And after that, they started stalking me because I decided to leave the relationship.
They
Like,
blamed
we're
you
not.
for them have to for them having schizophrenic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So
Yeah.
how did they figure it was your fault that they had schizophrenic? I mean, did they ever say why? Am I freezing up or she or
I
it's her?
think
It
that's
was.
her. This
It was.
is it.
I think it was more the factor that they had to stick. Can y'all hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's raining here, so it's probably cutting in and
Oh,
out.
okay. Okay.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
But it's probably more of them having to take meds and actually facing what they're dealing with is more. Actually facing what they're dealing with was the problem.
So did he know that you already had been through something like that before? Did you told
Yep.
him about it? Hmm.
Mhm.
And the reason why I asked that question is because what happens sometime is we as women we have a tendency of telling too much of our past
Yep.
relationships,
That's how I
and
felt.
because we tell so much, it later comes to hunt us, you know.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why I was asking that question. Did he know um that you had been through something like that already?
Yep.
So
He knowed all the stories.
wow, so he decided to take it even further than the other person did by locking
Yep.
you into the so am I might sound kind of a little crazy, but how did he lock you in the bathroom? I don't understand. It was the lock on the outside of the
It was
bathroom?
more or less I couldn't get out of the bathroom. They was more threatening at the door and I'm in the bathroom. So if I came
Oh,
out,
okay.
then that means I'm getting beat up. So that's
Oh,
locking me
okay.
in the bathroom.
Okay. So your kids wasn't there though, right?
They were in their room.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So I know I'm sure you had to get therapy for them as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, guys, you know that this you're a blessing, not honestly, because some women don't make it out. They don't make it out of those situations. I just
Right.
recently was watching some video, something on the news about a couple of weeks ago. A young lady, she was probably in 25, 26 years old in New York, and she had like 6 kids or something like that. And the kid's father stabbed her to death. And what he
Mhm.
did was he stabbed her in her head, and the police
Mm.
officer said that he had never in his life seen such anger. So
Yeah.
you're lucky, you're lucky to have came out of this with, you know with just the, you got the scars. You're gonna always have the scars,
Yeah.
which the scars usually stand for. That's what, that's when we're able to give our testimony, because the
Absolutely.
scars is part of our testimony you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I made it my mission to use my voice after coming out alive to be a testimony for other people that they don't have to stay in it and no reason for them to sit silent.
Okay.
So
Hold on 1 minute, Mary. I'm gonna bring in our other co-host. Hey, Margaret.
Hey, how y'all doing?
hey, how are you?
Good.
Hello.
Hello.
So this is our guest for today, Sheena. She's talking about domestic violence, and so each one of us, we're Meredith was getting ready to ask her a question, so we're gonna let Meredith ask her question, then you can ask the question. Go
Okay.
ahead, Meredith.
Yeah. So you had two relationships back to back with domestic violence, and you said, I mean, I agree to a certain extent, about sharing information, because when we're in relate, we learn from each one, right? And
Yep.
so the whole thing is communicating, and we communicate, and you tell, I mean, I think obviously you wasn't thinking, like that, but you have conversations with people, letting them know what you have been through.
Right.
In his case, and I think we learn, well, most of us learn from each situation, and I think in his case, he used that information because he already knew. He knew
Mhm.
who he was. He knew what he had been through. That wasn't brand new to him. He didn't just
Right.
discover that. What he did was shielded that from you. So when you gave him that information, then what he did was try to keep that at bay, and he could only do
Right.
that for so long because you are who you are. But I don't think
Mhm.
that you did anything wrong with sharing that information, because that's what we do when we're dating or trying to get to know somebody. We share information about ourselves. We want to get to know everybody, and you do want to know people history. You will want to know his
Right.
history, and so he should have shared that and gave you the opportunity to decide for yourself, if you choose, like, hey, I got some mental health issues,
Right.
and then that's your decision if you want to move forward with that relationship, knowing that, because that's a difference. Um, I would not say I've been a victim to domestic violence, but I could have been. And when I saw some signs, I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna be able to do it. And one of the individuals was, I guess he thought that would change my mind. Oh, but
Mhm.
I'm a bipolar and a schizophrenic, and I haven't been taking my medicine. I was like, oh, for real? Ah, okay. Then it's really a no, because you
Right.
already scared me. And now that I know that you weren't taking your medicine, now that I know that you weren't sharing that with me, because we have been dating for about 6 months, now that
Mhm.
makes sense. All how you were acting,
Hmm.
it's not going to work for me. And I did have to, say, call the police, because you ain't finna get up
Mhm.
in here.
Right.
You
Oh,
this a wrap for you, bro.
oh, this happened to you, Meredith?
Mm-hmm,
Wow.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
But like I said, it didn't get to the point where hands was laid on me or,
Mhm.
or anything like that. But, you just see stuff, people are like, when they become super, super jealous and you can't talk to
Mhm.
males, you can't talk to females, you can't do this. And other people saying stuff like, you just, the whole personality, when you dating and you getting to know people, I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
check.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yep, check. Yeah, bro, this ain't working out, okay? And then,
It's
Yes.
a shame, but that is so true because I remember years ago, this guy that I was dating. He was a lot older than me, and he decided that he didn't want me talking on the phone to my cousin. My cousin had called me. My cousin and I, we would communicate. When I moved out on my own, my cousin and I, we kept in contact with each other every day. We talked to each other about 2 and 3 times a day. And the reason for that is because she lived by herself and I lived by myself. And so it was to make sure that we both are safe. So this particular night, he came over and he decided that, oh, you're not going to talk to nobody on the phone. So she calls me, I'm talking to her on the phone, he snatches the phone from me and hangs up the phone. I said, oh yeah, that's a sign. I said, but let me tell you something, bro, I'm the wrong one. I said, because I will fight you. I said, me and you gonna fight in here. I said, we gonna fight. I said, but to keep from it getting to that point, you need to leave now before I call the police. But the thing was, he didn't have a car. So this was the problem. This was the whole problem, how it all got into this whole little thing to begin with. See, every time when he wanted to go somewhere, he would lie and say that his mom was in the hospital and he needed to borrow my car to get to his mom to see how she was doing. Well, let me tell you how small the world is. The world is so small, you never know who knows who. Well, happened, his sister worked with my sister, and the conversation came up. She was talking about this person, my sister was talking about this person that her baby sister was dating. And that person said, wait a minute. They mentioned the person's name. They gave the whole name and stuff. So she calls me and she said, what's his last name? I told her. She was like, hmm. She said, do he have some kids, some twins? I said, yeah. I said, yeah, he have a set of twins. She said, hmm. She said, I'm going to call you back. Just like that. Well, come to find out, the day that he claimed he was going to see his mama at the hospital, he actually went to the movie with some other chick, but he was using my car. So he got mad because I brought it
Mm.
to him. So now you want to fight me because I found out some information about you, you know? So what happened was I end up taking him home, and I know he was up to no good, but I'm going to tell you, God is amazing, because when we got to his house, the police was sitting right across the street. So I know that wasn't nothing but God sending an angel, because ain't
Mhm.
no telling what his plan was, because he kept giving me this sad look like he wanted to hit me. If that man had hit me, I promise you he wouldn't be
Mm.
alive today. Because if I hadn't if I wouldn't have got him, I know my brothers would have, first of all. And it was just crazy. And it's so funny because I just can't believe how many men think that it is okay to hit a woman.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm glad you got out of it. I'm glad you got out
Mhm.
of it. And like I said, I don't think you did anything wrong by sharing that information, because that's what we do when we in the dating stage and trying to get to
Mhm.
know somebody. So that's the whole thing, is communicating and trying to get to know that. But I'm so glad that the second time around you're like, okay,
yeah, you seen the signs and you
yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
got up
that's
out of
true.
that,
yeah.
I,
you
I
know.
had this
Yep.
unfortunate situation. I was dating this guy, and I knew something was wrong with him when he got upset that me and my coworkers at lunch, we was at lunch, and we all, because where I worked, it was a place where they had all different types of food. So we was all talking about what we was gonna get so we can share each other's food, right? So we sitting there and we tasting each other's food, And all of a sudden, he walks up because he was security there at the time. And he said, "What are you doing eating out of my girlfriend's plate?" That's what he said to one of the guys, because it was a guy, it was like two girls and myself. So we all was sitting there, all of us co-workers, just on lunch break. And he just was just acting so strange. And I said, okay, something ain't right. So I didn't think anything of it until I came to work like the next day, and one of the guys that was eating on our plate, he said, "Margaret, what's wrong with you? What's up with you and that dude?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "That joker cornered me and told me I better stay away from you."
Oh wow.
Mm.
And he
Wow.
told me, he said what he would do to me if I even looked at you. And I said, "What?" Didn't click until that same joker pulled a knife on me. I went to his house. He went to his house to actually break up with him, but not realizing that I was about to put my own life in jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
We sitting on the couch talking, and all of a sudden he come off and under the couch with this butcher knife as
Wow.
long as like this.
Mm.
And you talking about somebody start talking fast and trying to talk him off the ledge, because I knew I knew that joke. I knew he would have killed me. I just
Mhm.
knew it, because come to find out, he said he had been he was in the system when he was a kid, him and his sister.
Mm.
So
Oh
he
wow.
already had issues from when he was adopted. So it was I mean, he was straight crazy. When I tell you God blessed me to get out of there, I ain't never looked back. Never. And and he had the nerve to come to my house one day, and my mom told him, she said she's not she's asleep. And can you wake her up? My mom said, no, I'm not waking her up. But I was not home. But she
Right.
told him that. I tell you what, let me tell you something. You better be grateful that when you have a mother who's praying, a praying mother, because God will show her stuff that you don't know. And I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you that's what God had to show her that something wasn't right with that fella. That boy, my mom said he sat outside of the house for 2 hours, and just as he left, probably she said maybe 15 minutes after he left, that's when I pulled up. She said,
Mm.
I know he had something behind his back when he walked down the walkway. So I knew then. I said, this guy's he crazy. He crazy. And I knew that
Mhm.
to just don't mess with him. So there'll be signs, and people sometimes ignore them. But
Mhm.
I didn't ignore that sign. After that second time, I was like, he crazy. Let me let me leave him alone. So
So so basically what you're saying is it happens to all of us, but it's just some of us basically get the worst end of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we get into and listening to your story and what you went through and the different things, and I'm just so proud of you because you standing up, you're standing up, you're giving information to other women,
Mhm.
teaching them how to be strong, because there are so many of us that we're not that strong.
Right.
Some of us take our own life
Mhm.
because of what we're going through, and you didn't do that. You knew your thing probably was your children, right? that
Absolutely.
that's what kept you fighting and kept going, and that's I'm so happy for you that you were able to get yourself out of that situation, and now you are a spokesperson for other women. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, my first book that I did, which is also kind of is what off of me being through domestic violence. It's called The Mask Behind the Mask. I wrote
Mhm.
that because a lot of times people show so many faces. So the poetry that I wrote during the process of my healing from 2017 to
Mhm.
2018, I put in a book for people to understand that regardless of what they go through, despite of what they've been through, that they can empower themselves and they can be in a better position after anything they're going through, regardless of what it may be. Mine was domestic violence. That was the mask that I carry. My other mask that I carry is that I have 5 different health conditions. So another mask was that is that I have fibromyalgia. I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is authorizing my spine to go through the rest of my joints, like rheumatoid arthritis. I have osteoarthritis. I have polycystic kidney disease and polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I show people that regardless of the cards you're dealt, you are here to fight and walk in your purpose and be strong for the next person, because that testimony you hold, there's somebody attached to it. So right after I created that book, I then created the book called Unveil the Broken Pieces of Mass. That's when I put my sociology hat on and my life coaching hat. And in that book is poetry and spoken words, but in it is questions for the people that are dealing with their own pieces that they need to take off, their depression, their PTSD, their anxiety, the triggers, depression, whatever they may be facing. I put questions, affirmations, and a place for them to journal in their book so that this book gives them work to do for themselves. That's why it's called Unveil the Pieces of Their Broken Mass. That way they can fix their pieces. Along with that, I've uh did a children's book. Now it's time to inspire the children. That children book is called The Power in Me, which I made my kids the co-author plus the character of my book. That is to inspire kids that regardless of what they're going through, where they come from and what they deal with, they can dream big and be whoever they want. So with that, that's to inspire the kids and show my kids they can be young entrepreneurs starting at the age of 10 and 11. Right now, that book is up for two more nominations. It's already been nominated for one Children's Book Award as well. I also created Sheena Master Motivation, where I go to the shelters and I inspire the women to self-love themselves, know what their self-worth is, show them how self-knowledge is themselves, and show them how to elevate themselves to the next level. I also did a spoken word album, which is called I Was Always a Rose in the Darkness of Love, that has 5 poetry tracks on it. I also have created my podcast, which is called The Power in Your Voice, which now would actually be on BHC Media Network coming soon. Because it started off just on Facebook, then I stepped it up to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon, and now I just did a partnership with BHC Media Network, and now it will be a television show.
Oh,
And
cool.
I am a several multi-award winning author along with this. So yeah, I'm here for the people. I'm here. I use the acronyms DOPE, dedicated to other people empowerment, or HEAL, helping to empowering amazing lives.
Wow, that's a good one. That's really nice. So was it hard for you to get the TV show? Was it
They came to me.
oh, cool.
Yeah, they came to me. They happened to see some of my shows. She was in my group that I had, and she inboxed me, "Hey, she said I have an idea for you. She said, can we talk?" And we had a conversation, and that's how we end up partnering.
Oh, that is good. Yeah, I see that you have won a lot of awards. Yeah, that is so awesome. So awesome.
Yeah.
Um, did you have a question, Mary? You was gonna
No,
ask?
I just wanted to say, that is amazing, and that just shows your strength. That you didn't let nothing stop or block you from doing what you were predestined to do. You walking in your purpose, and you just keep going, and you just keep elevating. You keep elevating, and I love that. You're not ashamed to put yourself out there. I love that you are reaching back to help others and speaking to other women that suffer from that. And I don't know, do you have any plans to do some sort of workshop or something
I
in
actually
the
do
future?
them. I do several workshops, and you can actually hire me to do them virtually or in person. But I do workshops at a women's shelter twice a month actually, and then I also go to the shelter that where I am, and I go there once a month to give them. It's called a survival circle. So I talk to them and I talk about the different ways they can, become confident. I talk about the red flags. I talk about the healthy and unhealthy relationships. I talk about low self-esteem, lack of confidence, and so on and so on. So I do several different workshops. Actually, one of my favorites, I call it the mask behind the mask, looking in the mirror workshops, to whereas I have people create a mask, and it starts off as a white plate, and then they paint it, and as they paint this mask they then get to put on the words of how they feel at that very moment. So now they're taking a look at their self right now in the mirror, and we talk about it. We discuss how they're feeling, and anything positive I can give to them I give them, and I give them affirmations to take to repeatedly be able to inspire and enhance their confidence of who they are if they're dealing with anything at that moment.
That's
Wow, that's
amazing. That is amazing. I love your creativity. And so do you have so you you're doing these workshops and writing all of these books or anything. So do you have like did you go to school for any of this stuff or this
Well,
just God-given talent?
is is look, it's the creation talent because I mean I have a BA in sociology, but my creative side just it was birthed inside
It-
me. It was
Amen.
something that was
Okay.
birthed inside of me, and I just tend to walk in my creative purpose because I've been writing poetry since I've been 12. So why
Wow.
not take it to inspire people with the play of words? Because the words just has a voice and it's very strong. So the best way to do it is poetry, spoken words, and then also using art.
All
I have a
right.
question. I have a question.
Mhm.
Have you had any of since you say you talked, you do you speak at shelters and things like that? Have you had any of the ladies that you have talked to over the years? Have you had any of them reach out to you and say how much you actually helped them get out of the situation that they were in, and then they're doing much better than they were, and they're glad that they did got out when they did, because how sometimes they keep on going back, not realizing it's dangerous for them.
Right.
Have
I've actually had several over because I've been doing it since 2019. I've had several that's reached back,
mm,
inboxed, or shared with me. Eventually, some of them not even in shelters. I've had people that met me at me venting at book events and different events, and they're like, "Hey, you was my angel, or your book helped me, or you showed me how not to be broken." Like I tell people a lot of times, doing this career and stepping out and being the voice, sometimes you might think that nobody's watching when they're always watching. And I've had people that told me, "Hey, I've been watching for a while. I just haven't said nothing." And I've either inspired them to be better, showed them how to mend their broken heart after trauma, or inspired them to leave and never go back and be a better version of themselves. So those are my stories that just be amazing for me. It's not even the awards or anything else. Those are what keeps me going.
Wow, that is amazing. That I know it's a good feeling to when people come to you and they ask you about different things of your story
Right.
itself is just amazing. Just listening to wow, your journey and all the different things that you have been through, the health issues that you've been through as well. And I don't know, are you still dealing with a lot of the health issues
Yeah,
still as well?
yes, the health issues are still here, but I still keep going. My fight is the fact is that because none of my conditions are curable. It's just maintaining the pain that I deal with on a constant. But
Okay.
instead of moping around and saying, "Oh, woe, it's me," I said, "Whoa, let's what's next? What we gonna do? Who we helping?" Because my testimony is here to help somebody else. So for me to either be an advocate for chronic illness or be an advocate for domestic violence, it helps someone that's attached to my mission.
Wow, that's awesome. So
that's important.
none of the illness come from none of the abuse or nothing like that, right?
We're the doctor, we're thinking the fibro, which is the nerve pain, is probably related to the domestic violence.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
it's not no like every time, even when you look it up, they say they don't know, it's unknown why you get it. But me talking to my therapist and my doctor, we feel that fibro, the nerve pain, is what triggered that part of it.
Okay.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow, that is so messed up. I mean,
Yeah, because
man.
with fibromyalgia, a lot of it can be one. I was always told I'm not supposed to be stressed, but in life there's stress. But I can always tell when I'm too stressed because my body then starts to be in like this pain that just dances everywhere. So your body talks to you. So it probably did come from that because I was amongst me in the process of me going through finding out what was wrong with me. I was going through the domestic violence. So,
Hmm.
it probably triggered all in the midst of that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wow.
Frederick.
Hey, Frederick.
Wow.
Wow. Well, that's something there, boy. I mean, just listening to your story, I just I don't want to see anyone go through something like that. And um, I mean, no harm by it, but I'm just glad that I got myself out of the situation that I was in. I seen the signs before it even got to that point. So, and I'm glad that you have actually put your own self out of your situations and you're learning. Um, are you currently dating?
Yes, I've been in a relationship for like 4 years now.
Oh, okay. Healthy.
Healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
congratulations.
yeah, congratulations. So no, you don't see no kind of signs or no, oh, none of that stuff, right?
Oh, listen, it's shut down at the door. I've,
Right.
I've
She
had,
got a checklist right here, but like
yeah.
here you go.
Sign the waiver, huh?
Listen, yeah.
So now you know one thing that I have learned about people that deal with that have been through different things. When we go through certain things and our kids see certain things,
Hmm.
we have to make sure that we constantly keep telling our daughters and our sons how special they are, how much we love them, and things like that. And the reason why I say this is because what happens is sometimes it's like a generational curse.
Absolutely.
So, is your daughter at that age where she's dating or?
Oh no, they're only 11 and about to be 12.
Oh, okay.
With them, they know they're not allowed to date right now. And two, I take them to every event that I have that
Okay.
they can come
Good
to.
Danielle.
They actually they went through therapy and we have the conversation on the signs and everything else, and we have these talks and they've seen what I've been through. So we on it, and we have open conversation on how they feel and what's going on with them at that moment. Like we talk every week, like how y'all feeling. Like this is the open book conversation. This is time for y'all to tell me how y'all feel, what's going on with y'all emotions, stuff like that. So I do the check-in
You know,
constant.
they also have said that high school kids, teenagers go through domestic violence too. And the sad thing
Hmm.
about it is they don't understand it, and they just keep
Right.
dating the boy
Hmm.
until they kill him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and
Yeah.
and this is so sad because a lot of them be thinking, "But I thought he loved me." No, love don't beat you down like that. No,
Right.
love
Love
don't
gonna hurt.
have these. Yeah,
Right.
and love, because I've seen I think that show, it's a show called Fatal Attraction that comes on,
Hmm.
and I'm like, you know what? I said a lot of the things that people will say on that show, they say, and we tried to tell her, or we were warning her, but she just didn't listen, or it's just it's so many signs that come about, but a lot of times we think that we can change them. And
Right.
that's the thing. You think you can change them, but it like I heard somebody say one time, if you dating somebody and you tell him you calling the police and he say go ahead and he ain't going away, you got a certified fool then.
Right.
So you really got
Right.
to get out of that.
Mm,
Wow, that's something else there.
yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, when you were saying about Margaret was saying about the high school students, I did
Mhm.
read about that like 90% of those young ladies that date guys that are abusive, a lot of times they don't know how to get out of that.
Mm-mm.
And they don't survive,
Right.
Mm-mm.
you know. So um I think that you speaking out about it and you telling your story, it I'm sure it's opening eyes for other young people and other women, and because a lot of times what happens is that as a friend, like say for instance you are a friend to someone that is going through the domestic violence, a lot of times we can't get through to our friend to tell
Right.
them that, hey, that person is not good for you because
Right.
they're mentally abusing you and they're
Mhm.
physically abusing you.
Mhm.
Well, girl, he loved me.
Mhm.
Well, you shouldn't have a black eye if
Right.
he loved you.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think your story and you telling it and you sharing it with everybody, I think that is a beautiful thing because you're helping someone else, you're saving someone else's life. And the crazy thing, the funniest thing that happens is when you go to these shows and you're speaking and you're talking about what you went through and stuff, I'm almost positive you probably get about 20, 30 women standing in line just to speak to you about your journey.
I do. I remember when I spoke at a college. I spoke at Seton Hall University before COVID back in 2019, and I think it was about a good 60 kids in there. And you're right, it was like a line of them. Like, hey, can I speak to you to the side? Or oh, I had one girl like at that very moment before she came to class, she was just dealing with the issue I just started talking about.
Mm,
So that's one reason. Another reason what makes me, keep going, because when I go to these colleges and, that's part of why I created the book, The Power in Me, because me going to talk to the kids, it inspires them that they have power. And I also talk to them about appreciating who they are and building up their self confidence and building up to know that you got the power and nobody else can take that away from them. So if I start with them and I start early, maybe I can get to them before they get there.
yeah,
Mhm.
So,
yeah.
And as to piggyback also about something that Margaret said about the young man that she used to date, I think later on in life that young man ended up killing a young girl that we went to school with.
mm,
Hmm.
Really? Oh
Hmm.
my
wow.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord I escaped that fool, because I'm
Yep.
telling you.
Right.
He killed her on the beach.
Mm,
Mm,
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. So that's why, you know, um, everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
Everything that we do, it happens for a reason. Your journey, the scars that you have right now, and your journey that you're going through is for you to tell someone else and
Mhm.
help somebody else. That's
Mhm.
what it is. You know, unfortunately, we don't understand a lot of times why we go through the different things that we go through and why we have to go through so much pain and stuff. But sometimes it's because God sees you as a stronger person that can handle a little more than others.
Mhm.
yeah, I had to learn to not ask the question, why me, and just understood that I was the one that had to carry that torch.
Hmm.
Because
You know,
when I first published my book, I did it more so for the kids, the girls to say, hey, mommy, did this, and, I'm proud of her. And it was more for them just to step in another direction after going through what we went through. But once I published the book, I was on the front of the newspaper, the local newspaper here. I was on 3 different news stations and several different magazines. So it was a different plan and a different journey. And did I expect to be right here right now? No, but he had another plan. So I'm just flowing with it.
yeah.
No, no, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
I just want to, go back to your children and, just children in general. I love the fact that you have an open conversation, a community, because, a lot of times kids don't like to talk to their
Right.
parents and they're not very open. And so
Right.
I do love that. And just know that, you're talking to your kids, guess what? Everything that you pouring into them, they're going to pour into somebody else, and they're going
Right.
to see that somebody needs help or somebody, needs somebody to talk to or whatever. And so that what you're instilling in them is going to go a long way, and they're going to help the next person. And so it's going to be like a domino effect, right? So,
Right.
we get these kids out of this, I don't know what's the appropriate word to call it, but we know
Go to
we
silence.
yeah, because we know that, like, we talk about the high school kids, but it's starting
Hmm.
even younger.
Right.
Yes.
Kids are committing, suicide and
Yeah.
go through the
Mhm.
bullying and
Yeah.
anxiety and all of these things. And so when we
Mhm.
start, like you said, the younger you start,
Mhm.
that can get us out of that vicious cycle, get
Right.
these kids out of the vicious cycle, because our
Right.
kids are going through something different than what we were going through. And
Right.
so I think that is amazing that you are pouring that into your kids, because kids pay attention to everything. They're like
Right.
sponges. They absorb everything, the stuff you
Everything.
think they ain't paying attention to, the good
Right.
and the bad, the good and the bad. Right.
Right.
Mhm.
But I love that, that you are, instilling that in your kids, and they're going to be able to help some of their friends, or even a stranger, a kid that they may not
Right.
even know that well. So yeah, kudos to you on
Thank
everything
you.
and every aspect in your in everything that you're doing right now. I love it. I love it, and kudos to you.
Thank
Yeah.
Yeah,
you.
It's a
it's really good to see that you are including them in your events, that you're going to the events, that is so cool that you're including them in it so that
Thank you.
they will take notes, you
Mhm.
know, to realize, okay, so I know that this is not the kind of relationship that I should have,
Right.
you
And that's
know.
the goal. Like they even be at my workshops and I sometimes have them participate in the workshops to build them up as well. So
Yep.
it's more to, continue for them to get the lessons, but to also build their confidence in their things that they go through as well too. And like you said, they pay attention to a lot. Like I'll never forget one day walking back home after doing a workshop, going in the house, and my daughter was like, "Ma, I just want you to know I'm proud of you." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." She's like, "You're my hero." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." She said, "Yeah, you're a superstar." She said, "You're famous." And I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yes, you are." She's like, "Listen, you're out here helping people and you're out here empowering women after going through what they do." She said, "You're walking and doing the things purposely to help others after you went through whatever, all the things you've been through. And I'm proud of you." And I'm like, "Thank you."
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So,
Your heart melted, didn't it? Because that means more to you
absolutely.
than anybody else and everything else what
Yes.
everybody else is saying when your kids would tell you that.
Mhm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And that's important too, because a lot of times people don't understand kids don't do what you say, they do what you do.
Right.
So
Right.
they you can tell them all day long, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to follow this. No,
Mm-hmm.
they following what they see you doing. And
Right.
if they think that you accepted it and just kept putting up with it, then they think that
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to keep accepting it and putting up with it. And that's
Right.
how come sometimes domestic violence become generational curses, because
Mm-hmm.
what you saw, back in the day, that's what a lot of people did.
Right.
They accepted
Mm-hmm.
whatever happened to them, whatever happened to their mom, they saw what she accepted it and accepted it. So they end up getting into a situation doing the same thing,
Right.
and they didn't know how to get out of it. They didn't know how to get out of it, and so it's good that more and more women are becoming empowered to know their own worth. That they know that their self worth is more than him knocking me in my eye. That I'm worthy of having a healthy relationship. That I don't have to sit up there and wonder when I
Right.
walk out the door, if you sitting in front of my house watching everything I do, if you in the bushes. And, I just make jokes about that sometimes, but
Right.
that's true. Some people
It's
have
real.
done that.
Yeah.
Listen, I've had one try to come through my window, so I understand.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So can you tell people how they can reach you if they have like questions? Because I'm sure there might be somebody that may be listening to the show that may need help and they don't know which way to go. They might not want to call the 1-800 number. They may want to talk to somebody that can help them out. So can
Ab-
you tell them?
Absolutely. They can reach me on my website, which is www.theladybehindthemask.com, or they can reach me at www.sheenaunmaskingmotivation@gmail.com, or they can find me on Facebook as Juanita Mask. They can find me on Instagram as the Lady Behind the Mask 22. And if you even wanted to inbox me on TikTok, it's Sheena Author 22.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. And what would you what piece of advice would you give to someone that may be dealing with something like this right now?
I would definitely say don't fear what's next. Know that the unknown is better than with the situation that you're in. A lot of times there is fear in you because you don't have faith in you. You have to have faith in you to know that you can do anything you want to do and you don't have to stay there and you're worth more than you feel that you're worth. Your worth is all that you know and your worth is accounted about you. So if you put yourself at a higher standard, know that your worth is more than anything or any price that anybody can value as.
Hmm.
That's good
Absolutely.
advice. Very good advice.
Yes.
So we want to thank you, Sheena, for coming on our show today. We truly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us on Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. We want to make sure that we share with everybody one of the, I'm sure there's other numbers, but this was one of the numbers that popped up online. So if you are dealing with domestic violence or you know someone that is dealing with domestic violence, um, give them the number or reach out to them and ask them what could you do to help them. Or you can also reach out to Sheena. She does not, I don't think she have a problem with um helping you out as much as she possibly can, or tell you what you need to do, give you a little encouragement or strength, because sometimes what happens is we get knocked down so much that we in our minds we don't think we can walk away from the situation. We too afraid to walk away from it. So any, if there is someone out there and they need some help, reach out to her. I'm sure she don't have a problem with, giving you a little advice, you know. But we want to thank you, Sheena, for coming on our show today. We truly appreciate you. And keep on moving forward. God's
Absolutely.
plan is always bigger than our plan. So,
Yes, it is.
there's more to come of you, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. His vision is way bigger than mine. I'm just walking.
That's right.
Mhm.
Amen. All right. Well,
Yes.
yeah. So, do you have what's the name of your book again? Tell them the name of your book.
The
Your
first book is called The Mask Behind the Mask. The second one is called Unveil the Broken Pieces of the Mask. And the children's book is called The Power in Me.
Mhm.
And they're
Okay.
all on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart.com. But you can also contact me as well to get a copy.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
And
how do
I
they
have
contact you?
you can contact me www.theladybehindthemask.com, or you can contact me at Sheena Unmasked Motivation at gmail.com, or on my Facebook, Instagram.
You said all of them, all hands.
Yeah, listen, all hands on deck. I
That's
look,
right.
I'm a one woman show. I answer all of them. Look, I'm so
Yep.
Yeah.
anywhere you inbox.
There you
Yeah, I
go.
know
Yeah.
that feeling. I really know that feeling.
Yeah.
So we want, uh, ladies, did you have any closing remarks before we go?
I
No,
do.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming on. It's very motivational and inspirational. I just love everything about you all the way around, and all the things that you're doing, and the way that you're giving back and pouring into the community and the people and your kids. So I say again, kudos to you. I mean, like, listen, you are for real, a walking testimony. And so I appreciate you, and congratulations on all you do and everything that's to come.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay,
And
Margaret.
all I want to say is that your purpose is powerful. So keep walking in your purpose, because you're changing lives, and don't let nobody stop you. Just keep going.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We are out of here. We will see you guys again next Tuesday at 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, guys. We love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Um, and more power to all of you guys that may be suffering with this problem. More power to you, and I pray for you. God bless you all. Love you.
Amen. Good
God
night,
bless.
all.
Good night.
Bye.